Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the power of etiquette and manners. So important in this world for all of us to be kind and lift one another up. Joining me, as always, is my esteemed colleague and friend. He is the principal of the British School of Excellence. Let us welcome Mr. Philip Sykes to the program. Welcome.
Dr. Jacalyn, hello, everyone out there. It's a pleasure as always. I so look forward to, as I always say, this Friday afternoon here in the United Kingdom at 3 p.m. UK time.
I wish we had Friday every day, don't you? Because etiquette and manners is so important, Philip.
100%. Just so important. And again, this week I've had a great opportunity to actually get in front of a wonderful audience in a live setting. And we were just discussing, it was actually a lovely opportunity, Dr. Jacalyn, to be interviewed by someone who I respect highly. He does a lot for young people to get back into, or to find their path in life. And we've partnered with this organization called Change 2020. And it's a beautifully well-run charity sponsored by some big names. And Duro, who heads it up, we had a so-called fireside chat with about an audience of about 40 people in London. And it was wonderful because he asked me about my journey and where did it all start. And, you know, I always attribute that, as I've shared with you before, down to obviously my parents, to my upbringing, to the school I went to, and to the people, I suppose, that we grew up, who surrounded us, were fastidious about etiquette and manners. And it was just a really wonderful opportunity to get the message out there. And off the back of that hour and a half or 2 hours we were talking, no one left. Afterwards, we were just surrounded with huge questions and people really wanting to know why and how this all takes such amazing shape in our lives.
Congratulations. That is fascinating. I'm loving to hear this. That's wonderful news. And Philip, you have brought an incredible role model, an influencer. She's backstage. Before we bring her out, though, I want to spotlight you. And please let our audience know, what is the British School of Excellence and what kind of courses do you offer there?
Thank you. Again, a big welcome to all of you, wherever you are in the world. And for those of you who heard this on numerous occasions, here is the repetition. It's all about building confidence in people and building us up to become very, very dynamic as individuals. We are all individuals. We all have so much potential. And here at the British School of Etiquette, I think etiquette and excellence is very much about us giving you those amazing tools so that you can build your confidence, that you can put your best foot forward, to find your niche, to find your purpose, to find your why. And through the power of etiquette and manners, including obviously your emotional intelligence, you can soar like an eagle. So here at the organization, we start with our young class called Etiquette. We then move into mindset and manners for our teenagers, the polished professional, which is one of our, I'd like to say, it's not a flagship course, it's one of our leading courses for people out there who really want to find a way to put their best foot forward in their personal lives, in their business world, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're working in a corporation or for a small company, a large company. And if you take the tools from the polished professional and embrace them, you really will start to see traction in your life. We then move into other areas. Some of you have had the privilege to listen to my colleague Richard Cullinan on the EQ department and the EQ journey. Very powerful, very dynamic. And Richard is an absolute expert and master in his field. We have other areas that we focus on and sort of specialize in: private coaching, personal development. I just urge all of you to take a look at the website, thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. And if you do want to engage with us or book a course, there is an opportunity for you to receive a discount because you've come on the Dr. Jacalyn show. So just share that in your email and we will take things forward from there for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Philip. I'm just excited that we continue to get the word out and hopefully are influencing the life of just one person would be amazing, but a whole plethora of people. So someone who's out there every day influencing and making a huge difference is backstage. Please tell our audience about Sofia.
Thank you for this opportunity. Sofia and I have got to know each other over the last sort of 6 to 8 months, and I've just been so in awe of watching how Sofia engages with her audience and really makes a difference and impacts people's lives. And this is all through the power of our incredible, excuse me, that shouldn't be happening. That all happens through the power of our incredible, etiquette and manners, and how she's trying to get this message across to people who really, really understand that there is such a significant element to etiquette and manners. It's not lost, it's not forgotten. And Sofia, 20 years ago, was incorporated in a class at a style school and doing business protocol and etiquette. Then she went on to become an amazing mum. And so she didn't take a rest, obviously, but she eased off a little bit. And in the last couple of years, she's really made this unbelievable impact in the social media world, the social media platforms, and has built up an incredible following. And it's just so wonderful to see someone with such beautiful vision who we have the opportunity to engage with and connect with today.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I love her videos. I learned so much, especially how to pour a beverage when you are at a table with someone else. We normally would pour it for ourselves, but you pour it for the other person and then yourself. So that's one of the tips I took away, but there's so many more. So let's bring her out without further ado. Welcome, Sofia.
Welcome. I'm so happy. I'm so glad.
It's so nice to meet you. And as I just mentioned, I love what you're doing with your videos. You have so much class and elegance and poise, and we're just grateful that you're here today.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be with you.
It's lovely to see you, Sofia, and thank you for making the time. I know you run a very busy schedule, so thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I'm really excited. Yes.
We're excited too. And I mentioned backstage that you and I must have been channeling, wearing the same color with the same neckline. And you shared something about that. Will you tell our audience about the neckline, which I didn't even know this either?
Yes. Well, actually, to be an elegant and classy lady, it's better to wear outfits or like blouses or T-shirts with the V shape instead of round one. So that's why I said that we are today match each other.
Yay, I got that one
Yes,
right.
so, yes. It's a lot more elegant and nicer when you have this part because, this is, we call the edge. What is the name of?
Décollage?
Okay, yes, it was another word, but anyway, the décollage is very important. It's very sensual, but, like covered on the same time for a lady, it's brings this feeling of feminine, of a woman.
I love it. I have one question. I'll turn over to you, Philip. My question for you is, when you started posting on social media, was your intent to be an influencer? Was that one of the goals, or did it just happen?
Oh, I can hear you.
I love technology, don't you, Philip?
Yeah, it definitely throws you a few curveballs. Can you hear us, Sofia?
Well, while she's fixing her technology. So, with social media, it's interesting because each platform has its own algorithm, and the algorithms apparently change on a regular basis. So just when you think you figured it out, it's changed again. So it'll be interesting to hear what Sofia has to say about that. We can hear you.
Take the earphones out, Sofia. Yeah, going back to what you were sharing, it is a challenge out there, and these algorithms definitely throw and play havoc in everyone's lives. Dr. Jacalyn, especially when you're trying to run a business. You think you've got it right, and all of a sudden, a new sort of, I don't know, code or algorithm comes out, and you've got to sort of re-establish yourself. And I know you were asking Sophia how this all sort of came about and where did it all start. And I know for a fact that she really just wanted to try and sort of help people. And I think, you know, just by how visual we have become as human beings, she realized that the platforms such as TikTok, such as Instagram, is such a perfect way to connect with people. And, you know, I think a lot of people in this day and age, only because they haven't been sort of guided and steered in the direction of the power of etiquette and manners, as maybe, you know, again, no disrespect, but our sort of generation, our age group, who would very much have absolutely manners, that old adage, the manners maketh the man or woman. And we obviously had the privilege of hosting Rob a while ago, a few weeks ago, and I'll never forget when, and I think I've shared this before, I'll never forget when, you know, we originally launched the British School of Etiquette, now the British School of Excellence. He said to me, you know, Philip, it's amazing because when we were growing up, you know, manners were just the norm. When you had bad manners, you stood out. And now when you've got good manners, you really stand out. You know, it's quite extraordinary. And I think here social media has the power to really, really help us all. And at the same time, I suppose it's like fire. Fire's there to warm us up and keep us warm, and we can cook on it, but it can also be very dangerous. So there is definitely an area of guidance and steering, and something that we share a lot at the British School of Excellence is how to structure your social media platforms, how to do an audit on your social media, how to sort of spring clean it, how to sort of elevate yourself, how to create consistency through your social media. Because at the end of the day, people may look at a resume, they may look at something about you in an article, but the first place they're really going to go to is going to be online, and they're going to be looking for you.
And it's out there forever. So Sophia is back with us.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry about that.
It happens. Don't worry.
Gone. It's happened. Yes.
It happens. It happens. Sophia, I was just sharing with the audience and with Dr. Jacalyn how powerful social media can be and how it's helped you to sort of really connect with an amazing group of people who really were left out in the cold. They hadn't been exposed to all the wonderful powers of etiquette and manners, and how powerful and positive social media can be. And yet at the same time, it can also be a very dangerous platform.
Yes, it's true that I didn't believe until I am where I am right now. And social media is very powerful. Of course, for the young people, there should be a limit there, but we are talking, you know, after 16, 17 years old. Well, this is our daily life. Social media is there, and that's what it is. And we need to get into that. And in that case, I see that people are very into bringing them something for them is new. I was really surprised because teaching and showing good manners on social media seems like something comes from, you know, from another planet. I realized that for the new generations. So I said, okay, if it's like that, so let's work on it. And yeah, that's how everything started with the social media. So I recommend that we should be all in social media, but of course we need to have a boundaries about that. So
good points. Thank you. And you know, when you think of etiquette and manners as an extension to social media, with all these platforms, we have a way to message one another, right? So we can take it to another level. And I'm really surprised at some of the messaging that people put out there, because that's also out there forever. So we have to have etiquette and manners. It used to be, Philip, you remember from our generation, you'd have a face-to-face conversation with somebody about something, or you pick up that old telephone, the rotary dial, and you'd say, hey, I just want to have a chat with you about this. But now we can put it on all these platforms. And I think, to your point, Sophia, we really need to be mindful about what we're putting out there.
Yes, this is really, and especially with the young girls I'm talking to, they think that this is really fashion and really good to expose themselves there on social media, and it's not like that. So with this, of course, and as a parents, so sorry, I'm going to come back to the beginning. I think everything should start from the parents, because new generation is in social media, but of course they should have this background from the parents to teach them and to show what they should, you know, what they should put on the social media. So let's start with the parents. Everything is from there, then society, and then this new generation. And social media is this place that you can learn a lot on the same time. Because we think that it is only for the young ones. It's not. All ages are there, and you can learn a lot of things. And especially of TikTok, we think that is a young platform. Is not. Is for everyone. And take it seriously.
Thank you. I just have a comment about TikTok, because Philip, I reached out to you about that. So to me, TikTok seems like a whole other world that's kind of like, it's there, but I can't really see to understand it. Can you give our audience, especially our generation, a little bit of an overview about TikTok and the platform and how you use that for your influencing?
Yes, the TikTok is true that I didn't pay attention until last year, because of course I have a daughter. She's 16 years old and she's on TikTok and dancing and doing things. And I was like, come on. And she was asking me actually, Mom, please, can you just dance with me a few times? And I was like, come on, Izzy, I don't have time now for these things. And really didn't take it seriously until I realized that it's not like that. And for us, this middle age and how to say middle age, I don't know even from where is now, because lately the 40s and the 50s is 20s and 30s. So I think after 40 in general, we don't believe so much in TikTok. And it's not like that. I'm following a lot of lawyers, a lot of doctors, a lot of coaches, everybody, even in certain age. Even I'm following a woman of 99 and another one of 102 on TikTok. So you can imagine. And I took it seriously once I put the first video last year in the end of March, in the beginning of April. Just a normal 15 seconds of video, how you should pick up your back if it's on the floor, how you should bend your knees and how actually elegantly you can do that. And I was surprised that this video went from 11 o'clock at night until in the morning, 8 o'clock, like between 3 and almost 400,000 views in just a few hours.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Yes. Woo! I love that.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And as a result, Sophia now has a very strong following on her TikTok, as you do have a very, very large following on your Insta and I know you've got a few other social channels. But the interesting thing about this is the power of that influence that you are generating for so many people, Sophia, giving them something that they would never have known about through this incredible, powerful medium. Because Dr. Jacalyn and I have spoken about TikTok, and again, there are only so many hours in the day. You've pushed me as well, Sophia, to sort of get out onto TikTok as well. And it is definitely on the cards. It has to be. It's connecting with so many people around the world, and it is being taken very seriously now. But I want to go back to something you were alluding to earlier, Sophia, is how dangerous these social media platforms can be, and how much time is wasted by not only youngsters, by adults as well, on their social media. How much valuable time is thrown down the toilet because people are so engrossed in their social media. What guidance would you give to your audience and anyone listening into today's program? What guidance would you share with anybody on how to sort of, I suppose, A, use it to your advantage, but B, also to limit the amount of time you spend on your social media?
Yes, it's I experienced this also, because there is a moment, but The thing is, this is different because for me now, this is the work. So the social media is my working place, my office. So this is the place that you need to schedule your time, and you're responsible because you have this audience who is waiting for you. The same like you're a teacher in school, you know, you have your people in front of you. So sometimes you want to stay like 24 hours because you know that they need you and you want to show. So there you need to stop, because what happened, that's what happened to me a few months ago. Everything is about social media to give to the people because they want to know, and you start kind of like consuming yourself, and then you start forgetting about yourself, what you're doing, your health, everything is just social media, and you want to so there's a moment that you say, stop, they will not run away, they're there, and you have to find time to be on social media. Like you work in hours, you can't be 24 hours, it's impossible. Maybe the young boys and girls will say when they're 20, say, oh, but you can do that. No, you have to put some limits. And dangerous about the new generation, the young ones, there is different because they're there just to scroll and look and look and look. And of course, there is a lot of, well, I don't have them in my ones. I don't know why, my social media, but I heard that there's a lot of also, people who are not supposed to be in social media, and especially for the young generation, young girls, is not very nice. So again, this is about the parents, and after that, discipline, self-disciplines, we need that, because otherwise you have to value yourself. Again, now we're going to go to the etiquette and good manners. You have to value yourself and see what you should show to the person there in social media, what they should know about you. And young girls and boys, there is no limit. So I really want to tell them to be careful, and only things that they think that the people should see, that's it, no more. Otherwise it's getting really bad, because this is something that stays forever. I don't know if they kind of like how you say this, assimilated in their head that whatever what you put, it stays on the platform. That's it, you can't take it out. So really need to be really careful with that.
Sophia, I have 1,000 questions I could ask you because I'm so fascinated. You just mentioned that social media is your office. And I have to say, with almost 1,200 people whom I've interviewed, you are the first person that I've met that actually, this is where you are doing business, which I think is credible. People have it as an extension of whatever it is they're doing. I'd love to have you on the business show so we could talk a little bit about how you did that. I think people would love to know how to make their living from social media. But this is this show about etiquette and manners. So
yes.
we'll stay on that topic. So quick question before we go to Philip. You mentioned about the video with the handbag. And I know when I was traveling before COVID, I was very mindful when I was in Europe how in restaurants there was like a little stool that you would put your bag on, because to me, I thought, why would you ever put your bag on the floor? What is the appropriate etiquette? Should you have your handbag on your lap? Should it be on the side of your chair? What are your thoughts?
Of course, you learn this, and I also had a little bit recheck from the British School of Excellence, because they also teach very good how and where to put your bag. But let me give advice for the ladies. Bag should be never on the floor, only if it's like a big bag, big bag like a suitcase or small suitcase stays on the floor. But clutch, handbag should be next to you or in a little hook. Now these days, even I have always in my bag is a little hook that you just put on the table and you just hang your bag, handbag. And this that you see in the social media, all the influencer with the sitting and the bag is next to them on the table. This, please, I know that because showing, lifestyle, but this is not the proper manners to leave your bag on the table. So never, ever.
I can see you going like this in your video. Never.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We do have a comment and then over to Philip. Okay, someone watching on YouTube, Shushmita Sharma. I hope I said your name right. Thank you for watching. Ma'am, truly appreciate your skills and knowledge, which really helps us to be better person. You got this.
Oh, I love that great comment. It is about being a better person. It's about showing up every single day. I just love what, the handbag scenario for those followers out there who understand, how so many cultures can be very superstitious. And I know from South America, the Brazilians are absolutely, they believe you put you put your handbag on the floor, your money's going to run away. And there is a lot of etiquette in everything we do, rules of guidance, steering, and that's what etiquette is. It's not for the posh people, it's for everybody. And just what you were saying, those lovely little handbag hooks. If you've got a small handbag, place it behind your back, between your back and the chair that you're sitting in, if it's safe to do so. But dumping your handbag on a table or on the floor, I don't believe those are the two places for a handbag. Absolutely not. And how many of us walk in the front door, and the first thing you do, if you've had your handbag on the floor at a restaurant or wherever you are, and you walk in and you dump your handbag onto the kitchen counter, it's interesting. We just don't think about this at all. And interesting, we can dig a bit deeper for those of you out there who don't know, or those of you who do know. But Japan, for example, is an incredible country, A, to visit, but B, they are meticulous about the way they do things. And if you go into a restaurant in Japan, the first thing, and let's say you lovely ladies are wearing a coat, they would ask if they could take your coat, and they would either go and hang it up and then cover it or zip it into a jacket, or they would fold it neatly and place it into a little box next to you along with your handbag. So there is an element of, I think, as Dr. Jacalyn, and Sophia, that attention to detail. I think this is what this definitely leans toward.
Absolutely. I have a quick funny story. I had my little handbag hook, and this is when I was in my corporate job, and I was with my boss, and I had this beautiful handbag, and it was pretty heavy because I was traveling, and I put it on the hook, and the hook broke and pulled the whole tablecloth and all the dishes on the floor. Oh my goodness, that was not good etiquette for sure. So I learned not to have so many things in my handbag because that was a problem. I don't know if there's any rules on that, but that's another show. So
yes, they are.
Not too much about handbags, but again, I know that, Sophia, you've alluded to this in your platform. Is there's certain handbags for certain times of the day. And evenings, so there is a lot of thought that goes into you presenting yourself and putting your best foot forward.
Yes. I have this video about the bag at night, because I'm observing a lot that when you go at night out you have this beautiful dress, and then suddenly you find yourself with this big bag. I mean, first of all, it's not comfortable. Second, doesn't match. At night you should have your clutch. Clutch is a small bag that is like that small one, and that's it. You don't need more, because also when you sit in the restaurant, so you can put it even on top of in your lap. So please, ladies, when you go at night out, just a small bag, it's enough. You don't need a big bag. You just need your credit card, maybe a little, makeup. That you're not going to put on the table and inside in the restroom. So you don't need more. And it's very elegant, very classy, and very, very nice for a lady.
Thank you. We do have a couple more comments. Thank you again, Shushmita, love from India. And Kaleda, is that how you say that? Haksa?
Wonderful lady. She's been through our trainer program, and she's just an incredible person. And thank you, Enkeleda, very much for your amazing encouragement.
Sophia has helped many of us. Thank you. All right. Is there time for me to ask a question of Sophia? It's just for all the ladies out there. Philip, are you okay with it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Sophia, when, if ever, is it appropriate to put your lipstick on at the table in public? Is it okay to take out your mirror and put on your lipstick?
No, we are not doing that. No. I know that sometimes maybe, when you're with your friends, a company, maybe not, like a place that is only you with your friends and you feel like maybe a lip gloss or the one that because your lips are a little bit dry, you can do that. But in general, when you go to the restaurant, and I see a lot of women doing that, just like, oh, they don't even have the mirror, they just goes directly, they're talking to you. And I have my friends, they're doing most of the time this. So no, I mean, just excuse yourself and go to the restroom and just fix yourself there. Never.
Thank you so much. You just helped half a world of people. So
On
I
that
have
note,
this.
on that note, Sophia, there was actually shown, there was a very lovely little, the Queen was asked if she would do a photograph on the spur of the moment, and you saw her sort of open up a little handbag and very delicately put a hint of lipstick on, but it was so subtle and so classically done. So, I think in certain situations, as Sophia said, it depends. It's that old adage in life. Think of the environment you're in. If it's appropriate, potentially, then maybe a dash of lipstick before a picture. But generally, rule of thumb is absolute. Just excuse yourself and go and, as they say, go and powder your nose in the restroom, the loo, and make sure you do it discreetly, because you do see it. Many years ago, getting the train into London, for example, and a whole makeup scene's going on the train, because obviously people have woken up and they're on their way to work and they haven't had time to sort of do their makeup and things like that. And I think doing your makeup or any of these sort of, I suppose, be it call it your body hygiene or whatever it might be, I think just be aware of who's surrounding you, and just be discreet about it, because it's not for everyone to view of you getting yourself ready for the day. It's not normal. It doesn't. I mean, you see people clipping their fingernails in public,
Yeah.
and it's just extraordinary. A lot of us have sort of, this self-awareness is really something that I think a lot of people have lost. And this is what, think about this whole thing in the grand scheme of things. It is about being self-aware. And when we become more self-aware, we're far more in tune with ourselves, but also with what's going on around us.
absolutely, because if you're sitting in a train car or a plane, it's not your home. It is not your private space. It's, you're with other people. So a question I have about the younger generation, Sophia and Philip, I'd love for you to weigh in on this as well. I've seen this over and over again, especially before the pandemic, because I'm not out that much now. But you see a table of people and they all have their phones out and they're actually contacting each other. It's like they're not having a conversation, but hey, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you? What about this in terms of etiquette and manners?
Well, I don't know, should I smile or should I cry, about that? Because it's like, you want to go and say, come on. I'm really worried about that, because kind of like the communications between us is getting worse and worse. And I think Mr. Philip can speak a lot about emotional intelligence also, maybe later about that. So it's very sad that we are doing that. And even at home, I see that people just, from the kitchen to the living room, they are with the telephone. So no, what to say? No, please, we need to be stronger than this, in a way, to this technology, these social medias. We need to really find the limits, because otherwise we disappear. We don't even know how to talk. You prefer to say something to the person on the phone than in front in the eyes. I mean, so sad.
I love how you're such a huge influencer, and yet you're saying over and over again that there have to be boundaries set.
Absolutely. And this comes, it just, if you don't have it from your parents, because somehow they don't teach you. I mean, we're lucky that we have internet, because in our time there was no internet. So you learn what you learned at school and in the books, but now you have internet. So if you want this, you know, you have the school, you have, I mean, educate yourself, you know, because if we don't do it, who is going to do it?
Yeah, it's such an important point that you're making, Sophia. You know, again, what you do, you're an influencer educator. It's not that you are constantly, not that you don't disconnect from your social media and from your phone. I know you're very strict with your family time and when you go out and that sort of thing, and you don't have your phone on the table. But, it's something that we share with a lot of our teenagers, for example, in our Mindset and Manners program. And that is, okay, let's do an exercise. How many hours a day do you think you're spending on your digital devices? And they write it down. And I'm just going to use a ballpark figure of, let's say, 3 hours a day. You times that by 7, that's 21 hours in a week. And then you times that by 52 weeks. How many hours does that equate to? And then you look back, it's not into days, that's going into a month plus of how much time, your valuable time that you're spending on just scrolling, swiping, and on your digital apparatuses. Now, think about if you, let's say, only spent an hour or that thereabouts on your, having fun, looking at your socials, and then you spent the other 2 hours educating yourself, watching something of educational value. Can you imagine how dynamic you will become, or you will be able to sort of really advance yourself in leaps and bounds in society and what you could do for other people?
Look, I just want to say that the fault is of the parents. I'm going to say it, I'm going to repeat it until I'm alive. This is our fault, because we are not putting these boundaries. We're not teaching, we are not showing. I mean, forget about the society. That's it. School nowadays is not like a long time ago. But you as a parents, you're taking the responsibility to give a birth, to give the child and to live it. I'm really surprised about a lot of parents, just, okay, because that's what it is. No, put limits. They can stay, but just put limits and on, especially, the young generation. I'm gonna get angry now.
But Sophia, you've got such a strong point here, and I don't know how we solve this challenge, because as we all know, you see so many parents just shoving a digital device in front of a baby to keep it quiet or to keep it occupied. Now, I understand parents want parent time, but there's a time and place to have parent time. Around the dining room table, I look at the dining room table or the kitchen table as the family boardroom. That's the area that you can talk to each other, ask one another how your day was, guide, steer, show. Even when you've got a 3-year-old, 2-year-old sitting in the baby chair, it's interacting with them, helping them understand certain aspects of the table and connecting and communicating with them seeing your beautiful body language, rather than just getting out an apparatus and just putting it in front of somebody. Because it is, as you said earlier, Sophia and Dr. Jacalyn, you and I have discussed this, is we're losing that ability to connect with one another. We have lost that ability to connect with one another. And this is a travesty. I've always said this. Obviously the pandemic we've been through is one thing. I think we're in for a far greater sort of headache going forward with what social media and artificial intelligence is going to cause in the long term.
We do have a comment from someone on LinkedIn, Sarah Lewis. I'm sorry. Hi, Sarah. Loving this webinar. We definitely have lost our way in communication, learning a lot today. Thank you to all of you. Well, thank you, Sarah. We appreciate that feedback.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, Dr. Jacalyn, you have that wonderful course called The Power of Listening. And this is what this is about, is connecting, communicating, listening. And I was mentioning earlier on the show today that I had this opportunity to really present and share my life journey with an audience on Wednesday evening. And it was fascinating because one of the young men said, what is the key to being more in tune with someone else? And I said, well, firstly, you've actually got to be mentally and emotionally present. That's number one. You've got to have no digital device in your vicinity. It must be on, off, on silent, not even vibration. And you've got to be in the moment. You've got to learn with your body language how important that is to connect with the person in front of you. But you've got to be so present, and you've got to listen to understand rather than to respond.
It's so true. And I know, Philip, I've shared this with you that even here on our platform, when we do our interviews, I do not use a script. And I ask my team not to use a script because if we're using a script, we're focused on what's next, and we're not actually here. And Sophia might say something that is really powerful that is not on my list, right? So I'm going to miss it. So I think that there's a lot to be said about that in life, that we have to show up. And I teach this in The Power of Listening. We can't be fully present all the time. It's not possible. But if you give someone that opportunity, if you say, yes, Sophia, you know what, I am here for you, I want to listen, I need to be fully present, or let you know this isn't a great time, can we reschedule for another time, because you mean a lot to me and I want to give you my full attention.
Yes, because this is not, this shows respect. And that's what happened, you're meeting the person, you're not listening, you're kind of like someone else, or you're using your telephone. And this is shows you're not respecting the person in front of you. And it's really, really bad, actually. And listening, in these days, everything is so automatically, to your head already. And we're just forgetting to be focused 100%. I always say just quality is better than quantity. So even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 2 seconds, just concentrate. It's been really difficult, even for me sometimes, And I see that, when I'm into learning courses, because I'm still with the British School of Excellence, I have there are a lot to learn still. And I just... when it's like written, if you don't concentrate 100%, that's it. It's coming here and it's going here. So you can't, you need to be 100%. 1 second, but to be there, quality.
Thank you. I'd like to ask both of you a question as a follow-up. So obviously we know we can only be responsible for ourselves, or if we have children, we can influence them and have certain requirements. What about when we're in a scenario and we see someone, we're actually involved in some exchange with someone who is not acting with manners and etiquette? How do we handle that? Do we call them out on it? Do we just keep it to ourselves? Do we yell and scream? What do we do?
That's a very awkward and challenging question, I have to say. Firstly, I think one of the most important things that I've always shared and maintained is it's about putting people at ease in your environment. So if someone is being rude or ill-mannered, and it's not overly offensive, as in it's not going to cause a train smash, so to speak, I would maybe just let it ride. You don't really want to embarrass someone by, showing them up or saying something. If it got a little bit awkward, then maybe, again, the power of your tonality, your body language could give off a bit of a message saying that's very untoward, that's not appropriate, I didn't appreciate what you just said. But also your tonality. And again, using polished language skills. But for example, if someone was to, and often happens in society, someone comes up with a very inappropriate joke, or they think they're being funny, but it's at the expense of the people that they may be engaging with, for example. It might have an angle of racism attached. It might have an angle of sexism. It might, whatever it might be, people don't think, and they think they're trying to be funny, maybe because they don't have the confidence. So by using their so-called funny side, their wit, they think they're being funny, but they're actually digging themselves a hole, and that can become offensive. So in that particular environment, maybe that's when someone does speak up and say, with all due respect, Mikey or Johnny or Mary, I don't think that was at all appropriate right here, right now. Really, I think just stop before you sort of cause more damage. So I think each situation can be dealt with in its own sort of way, but it's a tough question, that, Dr. Jan. We could dig deep into that, but that's my first reaction. You don't really want to belittle anyone. I don't think it's an appropriate thing to do. Unless it's called for, unless it's really called for, unless that person has been so offsides and you just, really put them down or just ask them to disappear. And I've always said the power of etiquette and manners gives you that ability to tell someone to disappear, making them look forward to that journey.
Thank you, Philip. Sophia, would you like to add anything?
Yes, this is like that. But yes, you have these situations when, if you don't know the person, you better just walk away, for me, because there's nothing to do there. And if it's something that is next to you and in your company, there's always, be kind and just ask maybe why it's happening or that, and if he can come down and just go a little bit on his way, to be in his position. Why is this happening? And of course, we don't have to go to their level. I mean, if he's a little bit more rude and aggressive like that, we don't have to just go with the same one. We just have to show that it can be a better way to get out of this situation, and just smile and say, let's talk, or let's take it easy and we see what the problem is. Or just sometimes our ego, goes like, you will see now. I would say, no, you don't have to. What you're gonna show him? So just be calm and I would say, close your eyes for a second and let it go.
I like that. Close your eyes. That's great.
Let it go. The art of conversation in some of the programs we work on, and that art of deflection as well, changing the subject. There's so many tools, and I love what Sophia was alluding to. Maybe at that moment, put yourself in that person's shoes, and maybe they're going through something which is a little bit untoward, and they're just not in the zone, they're not present, they're not focused. There's so many areas that could be the result of why that person behaved in a certain way.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Sophia, I would love for you to share with our audience about your notebook. What is this? What's in there? And how can they get it?
Great question.
Yes. Okay. So because, with all my followers, all the time I'm interacting with them. So this summer, last summer, I decided to make a little like a notebook so they can write their thoughts, but also with the simple, basic tips about etiquette and manners. So during the summer, I was asking them how they prefer to be and how to actually make it. So in the end, this is like a notebook, a planner, and it's not by years. It's just, you can write every year. You put your thoughts, your daily ideas you want to do, and then of course you have a little tip about maybe how to shake hands or in the restaurant. Then little quotes. I was searching for the best quotes for me, so they're just here on the top, and I make it like a really luxury with the velvet cover and gold, because gold is like you feel like a queen. So it's like my little baby, and I'm really happy. And of course, with the help of all my followers, now it's born.
It's absolutely beautiful. Would you
Yes.
read? Would you be comfortable reading one of your tips from there?
Yes. For example, top table manners. I just came to, for example, top table manners. What we can read here. Well, having a good table manners is one of the first signs of proper etiquette. And if you follow these 10 steps, we'll make a great first impression. So wash your hands. Oh, this is something that I really wanted to mention. I've been observing that people, when they go to the restaurant, they sit, but they never wash their hands. I don't know if this happened to you. They just, I don't know, maybe 1% go to wash their hands before it. So I said, wash your hands. Use and hold your silverware correctly. Keep your elbows off the table. Use your napkin properly. Chew with your mouth closed. This is another thing that you see all the time. Pace yourself with your company and to finish your food at similar time. Because most of the time what we do, we eat and that's it, I'm finished. And the rest? So another thing is do not reach across the table. Instead, simply ask for what you need to be passed to you. Do not use your spoon like a shovel. And avoid stubbling your food with a fork too. it's just a simple, and in the end, it's just a quick tick. Switch your phone off and set to silent and vibrate while dining. And 52 in total. How to eat your ice cream, for example. I had a video and I had a lot of strange messages about that, but everybody decide how to live their life. And if you want to be an elegant lady, just think a little bit more because we all women, but not all of us are ladies.
It's a beautiful book. Thank you so much. That
Yes.
that there's a tip in there that I was just starting to think about, which is how many times have you been out with people and one person is going to take a very long time to eat, and some other people are like, let's just get through this. We have to. So the pacing is really important. You don't want to be the one holding everyone up, but at the same time, you don't want to just be inhaling your food, right?
Yes. We have to yes, well, you can say I've been to the course with Philip on the dining table, so a lot of learn.
There's so much elegance. I mean, I love the fact that you read that piece, Sophia, because a lot of people think, oh, etiquette manners all about the table manners, and it is about how do we conduct ourselves wherever we go. And if you think about it, you can give someone your resume or CV and you can put a whole lot of nonsense on there, and only a month down the line do they realize that you weren't telling the truth on your CV. But the moment you pick up whatever the cutlery is that you're using to eat, you've got nowhere to hide. It's a very strong public display. And it does, as I love the way you put it, Sophia, it's you. It's showing up, and you've got nowhere to hide. It's representing how you conduct yourself. And it is so elegant when you see someone eating with great fluidity, and there are no hiccups. Accidents happen at the table. That's going to happen. But you handle it in such a lovely way because you know how to behave, because you know how to react. And it is about that consideration, Dr. Jacalyn, of just absolutely pacing yourself. That's a simple consideration, for example. Having a what can I do for you attitude. May I pass you the salt? May I pass you the butter? So it's not just you, me, I've got to get this down and connect with the people around me and rush into this. Actually, think about going and sitting at a table with friends or family, or even if you were sitting on your own. You can really embrace every moment of that.
Yes, I think, when you're at the table with people, you're just a team. So you have to behave as a team. And to be, to know what everybody else is doing at the same time, and to also not to ask for the most expensive things, Also, you need to be, to pay attention to everyone that is next to you or in front of you at the table. So.
Absolutely.
Great tips. And I'm so excited because I'm following you. As I mentioned, I've watched, I think, a handful of your videos. I'm going to go back and watch more. And I'm going to actually go over on TikTok and see if I can figure it out and follow you there too. The things that you've brought up today have just really impressed me in so many ways. And I'm going to look at my own behavior and what can I do differently and how can I be more elegant and more mindful. And I know our audience is going to do that as well. What are some other tips, Sophia, you can leave our audience with today, whether it comes to table manners or using the phone, or how about if you're out to dinner by yourself, is it appropriate to take your iPad out and watch a movie? I don't know. There's so many questions I have. I don't know where to begin.
Well, of course not. I mean, the table is to have a good time and to eat. You need to pay attention, because if you're not relaxed, this is something. So we don't take it and consider that when you're eating, this is the time you need to respect this. You need to respect the food. So every time you are distracted or you're not relaxed when you eat, you think that you've been eating, but inside in your body, what's happening? It's like a storm. So you need to really focus when you eat, first of all, to be relaxed, and then to think about every chewing your food. You need to chew it at least 36 times. This is something that we never do, but so imagine you don't have to be distracted of anything apart of your partner in front of you, next to you, and the food. That's it, nothing else. So this is one tip about the food. Very
Thank you.
simple, but they should know. And chewing also, chewing like a part of open mouth, but like very quick. So it's, if you want to be healthy, you have to think about that as well. And I just wanted to say that we should think a little bit more about the way how we are, because I know that we have a very stressful life, all of us, but we need to keep our smiles, to kind of like show that life is changing. Maybe now you're bad, tomorrow you'll be good, then you'll get again you're bad, good. This is something that is temporarily. So if we can try to keep our smiles all the time and to think like I learned from British School of Etiquette, the 6 rules before you answer or taking decisions, I think we're going to become more like nice persons, in life. So take it easy.
Thank you for those tips. That was terrific. And Sophia, we've had your banner up throughout the show, but for people who are listening on Business Talk Radio and they can't read the banner, how can people follow you and how can they get your notebook?
Yes, on my social media, of course, in Instagram and in the TikTok and Instagram, I'm Sofia.Marbella and TikTok as well. And in my bio, you can see there the link, so you can go to the website and just order the notebook. This is the only way.
Thank you. And just to spell Sophia's name, it's SOFIA.MARBELLA for everybody out there in Radio Land. Philip, any final comments for Sophia?
Look, we obviously had these little technical glitches in the beginning, but again, there's so much we could talk about, and we could go down so many routes and elaborate and just give the audience so much more. The one thing I just want to sort of finish off on what Sophia was really sort of hit a chord there is, etiquette and manners don't cost you anything. You have the ability to change your life through implementing etiquette and manners into your life along with your emotional intelligence. And when you do that, there's that wonderful, wonderful quote from Clarence Thomas: good manners will open doors that the best education cannot. And I can't, emphasize enough that, these short clips that Sophia is producing and educating people with, if you really take on board the guidance and steering that is at your fingertips, your life will change. But you can't just do it when you feel like doing it. You've got to make this a lifestyle choice. Start as you mean to go on. Be consistent and really put your best foot forward each day. And I think something that I'd love to challenge all the listeners out there: be better than you were yesterday. That's all you have to do. So how can I be a bit better, slightly more better than I was yesterday? And just show up each day with your beautiful energy, that amazing smile, and have a what can I do for you attitude. And you will see how your life starts to unfold and change.
Excellent point. Thank you, Philip. Sophia, it has been an honor to meet you and a privilege, and you have to come back because I personally have so many questions that I need answered. I am going over to your channels and I know I'll get some answers there too, but it's just so wonderful having you here with us.
Thank you. There's so many we can talk about, the feminine women also, and how to keep this with us, because also I had a lot of questions about this, what is a woman, what is a lady. So I think that we can talk a lot about that, but it was also an honor for me to be with both of you. It's such a pleasure.
Well, keep doing what you're doing because you are really changing lives. We have people commenting just here today now. So you're doing wonderful work.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
So lovely
Thank
to see
you.
you.
Thank you. We'll see you again.
Have a wonderful weekend.
See you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I love what you said about be better today than you were yesterday. So just leave that behind, whatever happened, and just focus on what can you do now. And I think you and I have discussed this before. When we are kind to each other, when we're respectful to each other, we have more peace inside ourselves. And that means we have more to offer to someone else, to help someone else, to be there for someone else.
Completely. And be kind to you. You know, it's a simple, and people might think, why should I chew X amount of times? Why should I chew my mouth? Why should I chew my food X amount of times? Why should I just be? Because it is an experience, and we have to learn to be present in everything that we do. You know, it is always a method in the madness. There's always a reason why we do or act or react or behave in certain ways. And when you really sort of settle down and try and understand, I'm not saying you have to over pontificate or philosophize, just take on board these amazing tools and skills that the likes of an influencer like Sofia delivers and offers, and you can really make a difference in your own life and in other people's lives.
Definitely. And I'm very excited. I'm going to purchase her notebook. I love how beautiful it is with the velvet and the gold and how everything is laid out. And I'll just keep it here as my daily planner and have it with me. And that'll help me be centered as well.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be said about that. And, you know, as you know, Dr. Jacalyn, I've always got a pen at hand making, you know, just listening to what you say. And I'm just writing little things down because we're not going to remember everything. There's no way. So I'm a big advocate of pen and a notebook. And I encourage everybody out there to get a notebook and have a pen and notebook at hand at any given moment. And I know a lot of us do turn to writing notes on our digital apparatuses, which is obviously fair enough. We've moved on in the world.
There's something about having a nice pen in your hand and a nice planner to write in. Because I have over here, as I've mentioned 100 times, the yellow lined notepads that, you know, you rip things off and I put them in folders, but I don't actually have a really nice planner. And I saw hers online and she just shared it with us. So I know I'm going to be purchasing that. And I encourage everyone else to go over to Sophia's Instagram account and to purchase theirs as well. The link's in the bio.
Absolutely. I can't believe how quickly the time's gone.
I know, it's amazing. Philip, I'm going to spotlight you again. If you can just give your contact information and let people know how they can sign up for the courses from the British School of Excellence.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello again, and I do hope you all enjoyed and engaged in the show. Again, you know, it's obviously not our fault, but we do get technical challenges, and thanks for your patience. At the British School of Excellence, you can contact us on our website, www.thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. You can reach out to us at hello@thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. And if you do want to sign up to anything, I really would encourage you to take a look at our website, engage in a conversation with us, book a Zoom call. And when you do book with the organization, if there are any courses that interest you, use Dr. Jacalyn as the code, and we will absolutely honor a 10% discount on all our courses apart from Train the Trainer. So ladies and gentlemen, it's all about you putting your best foot forward. If you want to make a change in your life, you've got to make an effort. You've got to act, and there's that speed of implementation. You can't say one day, or I will. It's each day, look at a way you can challenge yourself and move forward in your life.
Well said, Philip. Thank you so much. I love doing this show with you, and every week you bring someone else who is just of the highest caliber of person, integrity, quality. So thank you for doing this with me.
It's such a pleasure because it's something so wonderful and elegant and just education, helping people out there. And for those who do dial in when we're live or afterwards, they will always get a golden nugget or two from each show. And if you think about that and putting that in your so-called imaginary arsenal, it's going to help you build your confidence.
Definitely. Well, thank you again. And thank you to Sofia and Philip. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I'm sure I'll be chatting with you in between now and then.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I have learned so much today. And, you know, it's funny. We broadcast from Monday through Friday. And at the end of the day, around 5:15 tonight, when I'm literally exhausted, but I am so excited. And I think to myself, all the things that I have learned on this platform from people from all over the world, and to hear it live, to be able to share this stage, it's so different than reading something in a book, which reading obviously is very important. But I'm just so grateful, and I'm grateful to you, those of you who are our regular followers, our new followers. We are moving everything down to 3 platforms. We're on 17 altogether now. And it's, I want everybody to be able to find us. So if you can go to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, we started our channel not that long ago. If you can subscribe, you can follow our programs there. Everything's listed in playlists, and we are adding new shows all the time. We have about 20 shows a week, and we're adding some new shows starting February 1st. So thanks again. Also go to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and you can watch our shows there. After the fact, you can also book your session. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our programs, just go to usaglobaltv.com/book your session, and that's where you can book your interview. All right, I'm going to close out with a clip that I think is really important to all of us. It is basically about sustainability, taking care of our planet, and just doing the right thing. It's called the Earthshot Prize, and I want to thank Ian Pelham-Turner and Helen Ashard for sharing this with us. Take care. Bye, Philip. Bye, Sophia.
Ours is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted. We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that. We face a